Hey everybody, welcome back. We just got a new Splatoon 3 trailer today. Excuse my voice, I've been sick the past couple days, but I wanted to make this video because I just watched the Splatoon 3 trailer and I'm super excited. But we got the release date, which is September 9th, 2022. I'm super excited. Splatoon is the reason I bought my Switch when I did. I've never played Splatoon 1. I only played Splatoon 2, but I loved it. It quickly became my new favorite IP of Nintendo's and probably one of my favorite games on the Switch. I have a little over 700 hours into the game, so I'm super excited for Splatoon 3 to be coming out. I miss Splatfest. I'm excited to try on some new clothes, test out some new maps, and see some new weapons. So we're going to watch the trailer and then we're going to talk about it. I hope you guys enjoy. Boom. Honestly, I'm so excited for this. So we're gonna talk about some things. Um, Obviously, the first thing to talk about is the first thing we see is like these name tags at the very front. Splatoon's all about fashion and style, so I'm actually really excited about these, more so than I expected to be. Or then I was not expecting something like this, but watching it, I actually think it's a really great idea. Because you don't really get to see anything about the teams until the end, I believe. Well, you see team names when you see people spawn in, but it doesn't look like that. You actually get to see the other team spawn in this time, which is cool. So it looks like we kind of have these like tags, I guess, and they're also going to be customizable by the appearance of it. And I guess maybe like the numbers on here are like your power or your rank or something like that. But then it looks like you get to choose a bunch of different colors and different backgrounds. So that'll probably be somewhere in the shop. I don't know what these like names are at the top. One thing about Splatoon is people have crazy, crazy names. They probably should be a little bit more regulated than they are. So I'm gonna assume that these names, like these, like for instance, Big Money Mano Wardrobe Regular. I mean, that's clearly uh, a pun off of Man of War. So it kind of reminds me of when you're doing a Splatfest and like the teams have names. If you know what I'm talking about, depending on like how synchronized the team is. So I'm assuming you can also buy or find or earn these kind of like nickname tags to put on your profile. So that's really interesting, and I'm excited about that because it'll be pretty fun to mess around and change yours up. And the next big thing that we see is going to be the new spawning system. So we no longer have a spawn area where we all pop out of the same, I guess, kind of like puddle with the barrier around it. I get to shoot in, which will be so nice. Because to be completely honest, one thing that always bothers me whenever I play is whenever you like start off in like a row of four people, and then when you start playing, people just run in front of you, and you just end up inking nothing. It happens to me all the time. I'm like, you spawn with a lane in front of you. Go that way. Don't come in front of me. Like, now I'm just inking nothing. But thank you. So I'm excited that you no longer have to spawn right on top of each other. But 3 of these people did, which, is interesting. We do see one person kind of spawn up here on top of this, like, railing or whatever. But they pretty much all spawn in front of each other, which is kind of funny. But, it is what it is. Also, it looks like we have some kind of splatter shot. Up there, I think, was like a splatter shot junior kind of looking gun, I think. Up there, I think this is where the splatter scope went. We see an octobrush, and I think the other one over here might have been like oh no, that's a slosher. And I think on the other team there's I think that's a point gal weapon. I can't tell which one. I'm not perfect. I'm not gonna know which weapon's which, based on sight alone. And that looks like a splatter shot to me. So I didn't see what kind of gun he threw there, but that special right there, is that what do they call it? Inkzooka? I think it was very similar to something they had in the first game. I think there's also an Ink Strike, which is similar to something they had in the first game. Now, I did not ever play Splatoon 1, so these are going to be new-ish to me. I know they're not the exact same as they were in the first game, but they look very similar, and I'm pretty sure that's what they're supposed to be. But I could be wrong. But I think that's what it is. So I have no familiarity with these weapons. And that right there was, what is it called? The Big Bubbler. I think the roller threw that out. So it's kind of like a temporary shield. And from what you can see at a different point in the video, is it looks like you can shoot the top to kind of wear it down. It looks like it probably just wears down over time as well and shrinks from what I can see. I'm not entirely sure. Like, yeah, you just saw it shrink there. I think it shrinks over time, and then just disappears. I think you could also shoot the top of it to make it disappear faster. So yeah, here we have the splatter scope. You can also look up in the corner and see the new special gauge. I kind of miss the old one. I like the more fluid special gauge in 2 than this one, but that's just my personal kind of aesthetic preference. And we see that this one has a splat bomb. There's another new special, and now I don't think there was one like this in Splatoon 1. It's some kind of vacuum. It's hard to tell if it's sucking in ink or if it's drawing people close. I really can't tell what it's doing. I've watched this trailer a couple times, and I still don't have a good sense of what it's actually doing. And I think it's interesting that the charger has that, because I mean, I guess if you're drawing people in, but you're a charger, so you'd be long range. So I don't know why that kind of combo would work well on a weapon. So maybe it just draws in enemy ink and picks it off the ground. I don't know. I can't really tell what's going on there. But we did just see the arrows come. So one of the other new weapons is a bow and arrow, and you can see it come in and explode up top, and right there you can see the arrows explode again. It just jumps, so, but we'll see some more. There we go. You can see them shooting up here, and then they'll land, glow, and explode. So that's pretty interesting. It's like some green arrow stuff right there. Here again we see the new bow, and you can see her special is the new killer Wail. I hit 5.1 or something like that. The killer Wail was another Splatoon 1 special, so I'm not super familiar with it, but very similar to Stingray. We also see this new special, the Zipcaster. When I first saw this, I wasn't really sure how to feel about it, but now that I see it again, I can already tell that I'm gonna love it. I love the mobility and how just quick you can get behind and then run away. I was never good with the inkjet. I have 700 hours into Splatoon 2, and I never got good with the inkjet. I do not play weapons with the inkjet because I die. I die and I don't kill anyone. I just waste my time on a match to use the inkjet, so I don't use it. However, this I can get behind because I love just getting behind enemy lines, inking the place up, and then, just running away. When I first started playing, I played Inkbrush Nouveau, so you could just slip behind, use the baller, and then run away when you needed to. So being able to do that, being able to use the Zipcaster to get behind enemy lines, ink their area, and then just teleport back automatically is fantastic to me, and I'm so excited to use that on whatever kind of weapon that they have for it. That's an Octobrush, so, I'll be pretty excited. I don't really use Octobrushes. I mostly stick with the ink brush, but a boy can learn. And here we can have another new weapon, new special, the Crab Tank. So you can kind of roll up like in the baller, but you also get to shoot a projectile, which is pretty interesting. It doesn't seem to last very long. The specials so far don't seem quite as strong as they were in Splatoon 2, which is probably a good thing. From my understanding, the Splatoon 2 specials are a little overpowered, but what you see there is the ink strike, I want to say. But I can't really say that that does not look overpowered compared to a lot of the other specials we've seen so far. That one definitely looks to be one of the strongest. See there, you can see them attacking the top of the shield to decrease its lifespan and its overall range of coverage. So it looks like the arrows that are shooting those bombs, or those bomb arrows, They don't appear to be too strong themselves, but probably 2 or 3 explosions and you're done for. Because he looked pretty close, but he didn't. But the blue Inkling didn't die from that shot. So I'm a little curious to see how much damage it does, because you can see they just took that multiple times, which is a little curious. Maybe a direct hit does more than the splash, or maybe the splash does enough to cover the area, but not enough to kill. So we can see the kind of Gal taking on that. I'm not sure what weapon that was on the yellow team, but you could see the new kind of movements. So if you're watching here, you'll see that kind of squid dash we just did. And now the yellow person will do it, and then we'll do another one. That's one of the new movements introduced into the game. I think there's that one and another one, but I could be wrong. But it's very similar to the kind of dodge roll that you could do with the dualies in Splatoon 2, except I believe everyone can do these movements. Maybe not some of the heavier weapons, but I'm pretty sure everyone can do them. And I'm super excited about that because I hated the dualies. I occasionally use dualies, but they weren't my main weapons, and I hated that little special movement they had that no one else did. It just never made sense to me why this one weapon class has this unique movement unto themselves, you know? Like, it was very frustrating. So for everyone to be able to move is a much better idea, I think, rather than just the dualies. So if we watch now, that's the killer whale again. And if we see now, you can kind of see that the vacuum does just kind of block our ink shots from this weapon. So I guess it just kind of is like a barrier and stops ink from whatever direction it's coming from, which is interesting. I wonder how well it works against, if it stops everything, you know, that'll be interesting to see. Because that's another kind of like defensive weapon, or special, I guess. Similar to the big bubbler, kind of just being able to stop any ink attacks, which I think is a cool idea. It'll be interesting to see if it has any weaknesses, like how the baller is extra weak against chargers in Splatoon 2. And another thing that we get to see here is this kind of like medal system you get each match, I suppose. So this person, it's not clear who we're watching, but they got the #1 overall splatter, popular target, and #1 enemy splatter. So I guess they killed the most, died the most, and did the most ink for their team. And it's really cool to see the whole team kind of line up with their tags. Such a great shot. I'm so excited to play this game. I kind of wish we could see the results screen, if it's the same as it is in Splatoon 2. You know, for the kills, the inks. I wish we could see that here, but we can't. So, but yeah. So Splatoon 3 coming September 9th, 2022. This looks really good. Between this and the Salmon Run stages, I'm super excited. I love Salmon Run. I think it's really nice being able to have a second mode in the game that's a little bit more that is more cooperative than Turf War or like the ranked matches. Sometimes it can get a little frustrating playing online. So being able to go into Salmon Run is really fun. I really appreciate having an alternative. Still getting to play Splatoon and have like the Splatoon experience, but you know, friendlier. Although Salmon Run can get kind of crazy, but I'm excited for that. I'm excited for this release date. I hope they do something special, kind of leading up to September, because that feels so far away. They've redone Splatfest in the past, so I'm hoping over the summer they'll do like another Splatfest or something like that. But Honestly, I'm just super excited for this game. I love Splatoon. I love the Inklings. It's a great experience. I had a hard time convincing my best friend to play Splatoon with me, but once he started, I think he realized just how great Splatoon is as a game, as a IP. It's just a great time. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am, and we'll have some Splatoon content coming out up until September 9th. Just getting us ready and in the mood for more Splatoon greatness, honestly. Um, until then, take care, you guys. Catch you around.